Hello, Kelsey Taylor here. Welcome to another top list video. Now this week's top list video is going to be something different. Originally I was going to do a list talking about my favorite Rowan Atkinson movies. And then I took a good look at the list and while he's been in so many things, like in a couple of movies, as well as in a lot of TV shows and a lot of theater, I couldn't really find a lot where he was like in the leading role. Well, there's a few that he was in the leading role, but like not a lot of them ended up being my favorites. So it was either I'm going to do a list on something else or figure something out. What I decided to do is talk about my top 3 favorite Rowan Atkinson characters. Basically, he played in film. So, like, certain sketches from his live show will not count. Like just basically 3 characters that he plays. Like, I really want to do a top list on Rowan Atkinson stuff, and this is the best I can come up with. So, hope you enjoy it. Just a quick one for you guys today. Yeah, so, here are my 3 favorite Rowan Atkinson characters that he plays. And one of them's pretty obvious, but just watch the list first. Alright, number 3.
Didn't your mother ever tell you not to play with your food?
What do you want?
I'm here to announce that King Mufasa's on his way. So you'd better have a good excuse for missing the ceremony this morning.
As many of you know, I am a massive Lion King fan, and I like all the characters, especially Zazu. Now, the reason I put Zazu at number 3 was because, like, while Zazu's a very funny character, and a funny bird, perhaps, played by Rowan Atkinson, mainly in the first Lion King, I'm sure you guys took notice that when you watch, like, the sequels as well as the TV shows, like, Rowan Atkinson never returns to do the voice of Zazu. For example, on Lion King 2, like, almost all the cast come back for that movie, except for Rowan Atkinson. They had somebody else play Zazu, and I think it's the same person after Rowan to do the voice of the bird in other projects. I think Rowan Atkinson came back to voice Zazu another time when, you know, they released the Lion King movie in theaters. They added in the song, they have Rowan Atkinson come back to do the voice, because if they got somebody different, it wouldn't make sense. So I don't know why he never returned back after the first Lion King to do the voice of Zazu again. I guess probably because, you know, he had other projects at the time he couldn't. I really don't know the whole story right, but that's my guess. But Zazu's my 3rd favorite Rowan Atkinson character, probably one of my favorite many characters of the Lion King. I could do a top list video talking about my favorite Lion King characters, but I just picked them all. Like, that's one of my all-time favorite movies. And the fact that Rowan Atkinson was in it, despite me not knowing who he was at the time, you know, I just want to count him there. Number 2.
Look, I won a coin, a gold coin. Oh, isn't this wonderful? Look at this room. What a beautiful room.
I think my mother likes this character more than my number 1 pick. If you haven't seen Rat Race, it's definitely a must-see comedy. From the clip I showed you, wasn't Rowan Atkinson pretty funny in that? I mean, I don't know why. Like, this is basically, it's just plain Rowan Atkinson playing a buffoon and with other wacky characters, and basically the movie's like same plot of it's a mad world where they're racing to get a big bag of money. Rowan Atkinson's character is always going, "It's a race! I'm winning! I'm winning!" I mean, I just have to put that in. He played a very funny character in a very funny movie you guys should check out. Like, yeah, it might be similar to It's a Mad World, despite have not seen it all the way through, but it was made in the early 2000s, and one of the comedies that not that many people talk about, but if you have seen Rat Race, let me know what you think of it. I really think it's a very funny movie. Rowan Atkinson plays a really funny character in it. But, while I do love that character being hilarious and all, what is my number 1 favorite Rowan Atkinson character of all time? Well, number 1, it's quite obvious.
Are you feeling lucky, punk?
Of course it has to be Mr. Bean. Of course. And, in fact, this is, like, one of the characters that made me a Rowan Atkinson fan. Basically, to make a long story short, when the film Mr. Bean's Holiday came out, I was lucky enough to see it in theaters because it didn't do well in theaters here in the United States. Basically, my mother was going through lists of movies that were coming out at the time, which ones are playing in the theaters, and there weren't really a lot that we were interested in. And she showed me a clip from Mr. Bean's Holiday, I guess a trailer. Like, she showed it to me, and she goes, "You want to see that?" And I remember hearing about Mr. Bean like a little bit in school a few years before when I was bringing up Johnny English, and I was like, okay. I was like 14, and my family's like into British humor. Like, I think my uncle was the one who brought us onto it. Like, it's like a family thing carried on, like the My Python Flying Circus stuff. So yeah, there's a huge British love in my family. Well, basically, I went to see this movie with my mother and a friend of ours, as well as his nephew, who, like, throughout the entire movie, like, he was real pissed we didn't take him to see Transformers. He was like 6 or 7, how old he was, like a little kid. And basically the entire time he was sitting in the chair with his arms folded like this and real mad. Didn't laugh once. And like, I went to this movie, like, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, oh, Mr. Bean, he doesn't talk. It's gotta be stupid. But, you know, as a young teenager, I gotta give this movie a chance, right? And the Mr. Bean character made me laugh hard. And I became a massive fan of the character since, as well as the actor. I mean, I had no idea I was going to like the character. Heck, I even have, like, the Mr. Bean show on DVD, as well as the 2 movies, Bean the Movie, Mr. Bean's Holiday. And as well as Johnny English, because I got it in a 2-pack with Bean the Movie, because I couldn't find a separate copy of Bean the Movie elsewhere. And that's how I became a Mr. Bean fan, and became addicted, and becoming a fan of the character. And he's really funny. And I didn't get to see the new Johnny English movie yet. It didn't come anywhere around here when it was in theaters. But like Rowan Atkinson said multiple times, he thinks about retiring the character because like he's getting a little too old for it. And like appearance-wise, maybe, but like I heard like Rowan Atkinson, like even at the age of, I think he's 64 years old now. Whoa. Like, he could still do physical comedy and stuff for somebody his own age when he shouldn't be doing it that much. Like, I don't know. He should continue doing the Mr. Bean character. I mean, I don't see any reason to stop if, you know, he's still really good at physical comedy. You know, so... And, he's done the Mr. Bean anime series as well. I forgot to mention that. Like, he can still do the voice. So, I don't know why he should stop now, unless, like, I mean, it's his decision. If he wants to retire the Bean character, then that's fine, but I don't know. It'd be very interesting if we see one more Bean movie, at least one more, because you don't know how long, like, you know, despite him being in his mid-60s, like, he's been around for a very long time. So, I don't know. Like, I love to see some more Mr. Bean stuff come out. Probably, you know, in a different, like, you know, even he said long before he did the, like, he brought the character back, too, for a Snickers commercial a couple of years ago. So, I mean, I don't know. I like to see more Mr. Bean. My #1 favorite Rowan Atkinson character. So, that's my top list, talking about my favorite Rowan Atkinson characters. I really wish it would have been Rowan Atkinson movies instead, but there weren't a whole lot that I totally loved. Or it was a hard one to figure out. But I just decided, you know, to talk about 3 of my favorite characters. So with that said, let me know what you think of this list, and what are some of your favorite Rowan Atkinson characters are. It's quite obvious what your #1 favorite is, but everybody's different, so let me know who your favorite Rowan Atkinson character is. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Adios! I could do a good Bean impression.